It's Thursday.
And the camera angle's fucked up. I literally said, yeah, so it came on. You didn't start doing it. You looked at it and you're like, oh, I guess this is fine. No, it's not fine.
And it's 10-ish.
Mm-hmm.
You look nice.
Then he starts lying, like all this unnecessary shit today. I don't really know what's going on. I don't. It has been a rough day, and then I get here to do bourbon and pancakes, and Isaac has this brilliant idea, like let's go ahead and do something with the music that my good friend, the Prince of Engineers, made for us, and cool, great idea. So he puts together the whole montage video situation, but then we turn it on. We let it play, and he lets it run out. He's sitting here now. It's his job to be on top of this because I'm making pancakes and getting dressed. And I'm like, I come back and I'm like, I don't hear any music. So what would be the point of having this whole opening thing to give us time to wrap up, getting ready, and let people know we're finna go live if you're just gonna let it go blank and have a black screen? That's not how we do things.
I think the weird thing is I had a really good day. I see the world differently.
You think that what you just did was a good thing?
I don't think it was a bad thing. I think that we should move on. We should move on amicably.
I'm not a fan of moving on. Like when we have an issue, this is what I'm addressing an issue. This is the problem we have in a lot of relationships and a lot of situations where you address an issue and somebody says, "Oh yeah, fuck how you feel. Let's move on."
I acknowledge how you feel. Let's move on.
Or they say, "I'm sorry you feel that way. Let's move on." Because I don't feel that way, so fuck your feelings. That's what just happened.
I acknowledge how you feel. I can understand where you're coming from. I empathize, and there's some sympathy in there as well. Let's move on. Let's do that. Happy show.
This is going to be one of these days where we're just going to let Isaac handle it. I'm going to sit over here, and Isaac's going to do his thing. And no, that's definitely what we're doing because like everything is so off. I haven't started the other thing because I come out here and I'm like, what's happening with the music? And he's just sitting here like nothing was happening with the music. And that's weird for me.
It's been a wonderful day. We're going to continue into that. Yes. It's a joyful occasion. It's Thursday at 10-ish. Yeah. So there may be little hiccups here and there. It fucking happens. And if you guys recall, there was an episode that we had where not me, but the other person in the show had some hiccups. And I said, it's fine. We'll get through it. We'll work through it because that's what we do. But I guarantee that if I have a hiccup in the future, it'll be a thing. This is that thing that I mentioned. So just go back, look at that show. And this brings me to my toast, which I'm glad you did that. See, this is perfect. This is why this is perfect. You know what the toast is? I got oranges and shit this time. Forgiveness.
We're toasting to forgiveness?
Yeah. So sometimes I always forgive other people, which is kind of what happens in this situation. But at least forgive yourself, if nothing else.
That's the toast?
It is. That's all. That's it. Forgiveness brings people. What the fuck is...
It's your toast.
It is my toast.
You're not in this frame.
I'm aware of that.
Oh, okay. It's going to be one of those days, you guys.
It's not going to be one of those days.
Yes, it is.
Unless you create it to be so. It doesn't need to be one of those days. Can you guess what's in it?
There's
Let me see what it's
oranges.
called. Hold on. Actually, it's not.
There's an orange in there now.
Oh, but damn it. It's not how it's supposed to be made. Okay, so it's called the Beggar's Banquet. Try something different. She makes the pancakes. I was like, let me try to make just a random cocktail. But can you guess what's in it?
I'm not good at this.
You said you had an immaculate palate.
I do. There's bourbon in this.
Sip it again.
I just did. There's something sweet in here. It's sweet.
Yeah. I think I made hers better than mine, actually.
There's something fizzy in here. There's something. What? Am I making this up?
No, you're doing great. I'm sorry. Fizzy and sweet. But you have to identify what they might be. Okay, what is the fizzy thing?
Sprite.
No. Okay, what is the sweet thing?
Some sort of syrup that bartenders use.
No. Wow, okay. See, I don't feel so bad now when I fuck up your pancakes.
Well, my pancakes are a little bit more straightforward, but
Sure.
so I got a syrup, I got a fizzy thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's bourbon. I'm not tasting a second liquor. You said there was, but I'm not getting it. So
Well, it's not technically liquor.
so here we go. You put bitters in it?
No, it's an alcohol of sorts, but it wouldn't be classified as a liquor. It's a lager.
So you put beer in it?
That's what the fucking recipe said.
Why would you give me beer? I don't even drink beer.
That's why I gave you a little bit. I didn't give you as much as I put in mine. I literally gave you just a little bit, enough to make it fizzy.
Okay. That said.
The sweet that you taste is, of course, organic maple syrup. Mm-hmm. What you didn't taste, which is obviously in the background, I put a decent amount in yours, but I guess there's lemon juice in there. Yeah. And then, of course, bourbon.
Mine's, I get more sweetness. I don't think I got enough of the sour because it's not here. And I drink whiskey sours all the time. There's no sour here. There's only sweet.
Yeah, I put a little bit more sweet in yours because I didn't when I first made it.
It's probably not the way.
You wanted more sour.
Probably.
Well, the recipe actually asked for more beer, like a lot more beer, and
which is also sour. I'm just saying, follow the goddamn recipe. They know what they're talking about.
No, I tried it.
You didn't like it. You don't. I drink mixed drinks. You don't.
It didn't work out.
Anywho.
Pancakes.
Yep, we got pancakes.
Blackberries, cherries, blueberries. It's cherries and blueberries.
There are cherries and blueberries. There are no blackberries.
I'm not gonna guess this. I fucked my palate. Okay. Angie versus Angel is here.
Hey, Angie.
Yeah, I know it's a weird name. So I just picked it. The Beggar's Banquet. I don't know. And it's not that bad. I had to tweak it a little bit, but it's not bad. I think I would try it again a different way. I don't think the recipe was on point. Well, what do you think though?
It's so for me. It's fine. It's not bad.
Yeah, no. When I first made it, it was.
I'm not gonna be like, ooh, give me a Beggar's Banquet. That's
yeah, I don't think I'm gonna order it.
That's definitely not right. First of all, nobody's gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about. But
so, yeah.
Even if I explained it to them, they would kind of be like,
I can make you something better than that.
Right. That's usually what happens. The bartender be like, I can make you something better.
I was limited because I was downtown. I was like, what ingredients can I get from the CVS? Real quick. So I was limited too. So let's just put that
sure. Make excuses.
Oh, David said, take it easy on the bourbon. There's a shortage.
Yeah, I heard about there being a bourbon shortage. We have ours on deck, but I probably will go out and get some this week before it really affects people.
This is not how I claim 2021 to be. You have a whole brand wrapped around something I have enough of. Okay, I'm getting cherries and I'm getting the blueberries.
Yeah, it's kind of your favorite. It's like the Fruity Pebbles that you like, the orange pancake, orange and vanilla pancake, and then that's what I already had in mind, which was funny when you pulled out an orange. But yeah, we're gonna call this Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebble
Vegan
pancake.
Fruity Pebbles.
Gotcha. I dig it.
Are you getting a Fruity Pebble vibe?
A little bit. I think this really threw it off because I'm getting a lot more of like the cherry for me, which is good because I love cherry. But I think that because sometimes I take the extra home for later, maybe like breakfast or whatever. I think I'll probably get more of the Fruity Pebbles in the morning. You gave me a lot today. I like it. Okay, so you okay?
I'm just working on it.
For instance, it sounds like something I order, then be bougie when they don't know what it is, right? It's like it's some shit that nobody really knows what it is. I think it's some like esoteric club in New York that came up with it, and now it's just on the internet, but it's not actually a place. But if you go into a place and ask for it, you would seem like you have some class. It just adds an extra layer of class. To any restaurant or any club or lounge you go to. This orange is a little distracting though, I ain't gonna lie.
You see, I took mine immediately out. I can't do all that. What in the world?
So, how about the news?
What? I don't know what's going on today. I feel like it's like just a total struggle trying to get through things. I'm trying to share the live to my main page, and for some reason it's not popping up, and it's extremely annoying. Yeah, so fuck it. I'll do it later. Yeah, so it's been a crazy week also. So we got the Derek Chauvin verdict where he was found guilty, and we followed that right up immediately with
right.
What's
No, I'm just saying. I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah, with the 15-year-old being shot, and I spent the entire day going back and forth with people about does she deserve it? Did he, do the right thing as far as the police? And it's an interesting place that we find ourselves in as a community, to where there's this constant trauma that's being really pushed to us, and we have to have these ongoing, really painful debates about people getting shot by the police, and it's kind of like, why are we? I don't know.
Are we at odds with it internally?
I don't know about that. I just think it's a weird swing, because if we're going to go with we don't want to be shot by the police, then why in this situation? Oh, yeah, he probably should have shot her. That's odd to me. That's a lot of what I've been hearing is, well, what could he do? He just got there, that type of thing. And so it's kind of like, so do we want the police to shoot us or not? Because I'm extremely confused.
Someone made an interesting point, and I want to just get your feedback, especially, but I want to get feedback. Is that there seems to be somewhat of a bias, like when there's a Black woman that gets shot or brutalized by the police, there's a different opinion. Like, oh, she shouldn't have been running her mouth, or she should have just did this, or she shouldn't have had no. But when the Black man gets shot, then it's like everybody's on the same page, it seems like. And that's a real interesting dynamic as well, because it seems like there's always that kind of, because like with Breonna, there was, why was she dealing with a drug dealer? It was her boyfriend that brought it, or her ex-boyfriend, or whoever. Right. Why was she involved with those types of people? Well, regardless of the types of people that I'm involved with, executing a warrant shouldn't involve shooting me. That's not how that works. Right. So you know what I'm saying? It's like we don't take the emotion out of the situation and say, these people have a job and they're not doing it well. Right. And regardless to what their regulations are, and that was the other thing that pissed me off. Well, they don't break any of the police regulations. Well, the police regulations are probably wrong. Fuck their regulations. It's really weird to me when we sit. Who the fuck said that? It's been a long day. A lot of people said that? Yeah, a lot of people said that. And so when you're in a system of oppression, they create rules so that when they want to use them, meaning when it's time for Black people to die, they use them, and it's within their regulations. But when it's time for them to, deal with one of their own, or whoever's deemed, a better person, then those rules aren't used. And we actually figure out that, yeah, we can de-escalate things, and we can, apprehend somebody without killing them. Yeah. Who knew? So you create the regulation so that if you decide to brutalize Black people, it's within the regulations. But then you don't use those same tactics when it comes to other people. So it's super confusing. I think the key word is not confusing. They're doing what they're supposed to do, but I'm trying to figure out why we don't understand that. I think the key word that we really have to not identify with, but understand, is the brutality part. If you brutalize somebody, that means that's excessive, aggressive force that was unnecessary. People don't get shot, they get shot at. There's multiple 15, 32, like this execution basically. It's not like she got shot in the arm and it's like, damn, she got shot in the arm. That's fucked up. It's like they shoot to kill. Right. That's execution. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that I did talk to a good friend right before we started the show, who was on the police force or has been in, law enforcement for over 20 years. And he's basically, saying that they're just not trained that way. It's hard enough to hit a moving target, much less a moving target that you're not hitting. They're trained center mass, because that's the largest part of your body. Yeah. And so when I started talking to him about, well, change the training. Well, then it will have to be, a whole nother program. Different people will have to push for it, stuff like that. And it's kind of weird for me, because it's like, why wouldn't
someone inside the department realized, hey, we probably shouldn't shoot people. Come up with another plan.
Well, and again, it just shows you where your value is. Because if you wanted to rehabilitate people or fix a community or help a community or stop crime, then you wouldn't brutalize people. There would be no center mass training. There would be something else. I don't know what that something else would be, but someone would be like, you know what? Shooting people isn't a good way to get the motherfuckers on your side. So maybe we should come up with another thing. I don't know.
Right.
But another thing, because shooting people obviously doesn't result to positive anything on any side.
So that being said, we'll slide on into what the topic actually is, which is, damn it, Black people.
God damn it, Black people.
God damn it, Black people. The reason why I said that, and this kind of weighs into it, you have to touch it again.
But then it goes away.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you did do it right. Yeah. There you go. So part of what I was hearing as well was kind of a stereotype about Black women, which is, I mean, if you got a big old aggressive Black girl out here trying to stab somebody, what you supposed to do? And I'm like, a big old aggressive Black girl. Does that even sound like a proper sentence for you? Big old aggressive Black girl.
Because we gotta kind of mix and match now. Does that go with the trope of angry Black woman?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. We are
angry Black woman with a knife.
Mm-hmm. What else was he supposed to do besides shoot her? There's no other way to calm the savage beast of a Black woman.
But they have a lot of. The funny thing is, people, they have the Batman utility thing. They got pepper spray. They have tasers. They have all kinds. Don't they have batons? They still got the batons and shit.
They probably took the batons away. I don't know.
But some of them, I don't
know if they got that. I mean, I've seen them. I don't know what the standard issue is now. I don't know if they have the Batman belt anymore. I think they may just have the taser and the service pistol. I don't.
They have pepper spray no more? Not the pepper spray. They pepper spray their one brother.
They pepper spray folks all the time, but that's usually when they pull out the riot gear and they have all of that.
The one that was in the car. The one that was in the.
True, but he was. I think it depends on the department. I don't think that's every police in the world.
I guess what I'm saying is that there's other things. So whether you have 2 things or 3 or 4 things, there's another way. So shooting people just seems like that's why you join the force in the first place. But anyway, we're talking about the angry Black woman trope. So that's not justified. That she's a big old, what do you say? Big old scary? It was scary? Aggressive, which is scary. Black woman with a knife, and that's all you need to shoot somebody.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. I just work here. I'm saying that I saw a lot of people repeating and saying, did you see the knife? And she was big old angry, and like I said, when it comes to other people, that's not the situation. But what we really wanted to talk about was different stereotypes. That's just one of them that kind of leads into what other stereotypes do we have that are so.
I don't know if there's any others that are as dangerous. Well, the thug stereotype, if you dress a certain way, you're automatically in that category, no matter what. Or you're a rapper, and a thug, which is the thing too. I think those 2 are the most, and maybe others, but I feel like those 2 might be the most dangerous ones because they lead to things like that. Like if I pull you over and I automatically think you're no good, you're a thug or whatever, then I feel righteous when I do what I do. If you're the angry Black woman, what else was I supposed to do? So I think those are the most dangerous ones. But I think the one that seems to be, I don't know if it still applies, but the CP time, is that still a thing?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, you make fun of me, but I've been early for like 1.5 years now.
Why do you keep saying that?
Because it's true. Because you keep saying the other thing. You be like, "Oh, you're gonna be late today." No, I'm not. I've been late in the year.
Be late.
Whoa, when? So I be on CP time?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time.
All the time. Yep.
Give me a time. Give me a time.
All the time.
No.
Every week.
You can.
Every week.
Every week.
Oh,
so wait, hold on. Because last week
you were here early last week.
So that's not all the time.
the majority of the time. So anyway, you start. He starts off saying, "Okay, I'm gonna be there at 8:45," and then all of a sudden, oh, it's gonna be 9:15. It's gonna be 9:30. It's gonna be 9:45. That's what he does.
Whoa! When have I got here at 9:45? When's the last time I got here?
You've gotten here at 9:45.
When is the last time?
No, I don't keep up with your lateness.
I do.
I'm glad you do. I'm just saying, you be late. You want to read some of these comments?
I'm gonna read some of these comments. Jones said, "Have you seen the video?" No.
Not all of it. I've seen some of the stills. I've seen like little snippets, but I didn't watch the whole video.
No, I can't. I can't watch the video.
I'm getting frustrated.
I really can't. I can't. I think it's important to capture and document it because those are the things that people use in court, and that's how it gets around and worldwide. And that's probably how change is going to happen, is it being documented. But personally, I can't be traumatized like that over and over again because it's weekly, monthly at this point. I can't absorb that. So no. Cece says, this might be a little bit older. That goddamn heathen board.
Yeah, the goddamn heathen board. That's what she called the men's delegation, the heathen board.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
The heathen board. Wow.
Yeah, because we're deaconesses, so instead of the deacon board, there's a heathen board.
Like complete opposite.
Yeah.
We got to do better then.
They're not deacons; they're heathens.
We got to do better. Okay, I don't even know how to. I don't even know what to say about the heathen board. That's fucked up. David says, "I don't give a damn if a black person is dead wrong. I'll never take 50 sides. The fuck niggas always trying to please our oppressors. Clowns.
Yeah.
Motherfucking clowns."
Yeah. And I don't know about dead ass wrong, but in general, even if they are dead ass wrong, if they're dead ass wrong, I just won't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's when I just get quiet. It's like, yeah, I ain't gonna speak on this one. But if in general, if there's a situation where the police are involved, I'm always going to side with the other people. Like they don't get nothing. They gets no love from me.
But I think even when we talk about dead ass wrong, though, we think about all of the people that were captured that had shootouts with the police.
Right.
And it's like, that is dead ass wrong. You have military grade weaponry and you're going tit for tat with bullets with the police and they capture you alive. That's dead wrong. So if any black person has, I don't know, an opinion that's a little too loud, I think that's fine. I'm almost fine with a shootout at this point because it's like you obviously know how to take them alive versus that. Remember that one dude they blew up? When did they do that? You remember that? He was a military, I think he was in the military, or he was a police officer, one of the two, or both. Oh,
that guy from he was like in LA or in California.
And then he was like, fuck this, racism, blah, blah. He wrote a manifesto. You know it's serious. When you write a manifesto, it's a wrap. Like, regular niggas don't have manifestos. You on some serious shit when you write a manifesto. So he had a manifesto, did his whatever, and they blew him up. And then the other dude, I think they set on fire and let that burn down. Like, they didn't capture him alive. So I kind of agree, even if they did wrong, they can find a way. Jones says, sadly, it's the same in a law enforcement training environment. A knife is equivalent to disarm or stop is a gun.
Yeah, I've heard that.
What are your thoughts?
I don't have any thoughts on that. I've heard that. Yeah. Police training. Okay. Police training is fucked up. Let's move on.
Okay, fair enough. David says, did any of those fools who ran up in the Capitol get shot by the police? One.
Yeah, I think somebody
That lady,
did.
She had a cape on, so she was fucking insane. But yeah, she got shot. But that's because, and it wasn't police, it was Secret Service, I want to say. She was trying to breach where Congress people were, and she got through the window just a little bit, and they were not playing. And she was the only person shot, I think.
I really didn't keep up all that much.
Oh. But yes, somebody did get shot, but it was not by the police. I want to say it was by Secret Service, but different scenario. But out of all of them, if you think about it, a lot more people should have been shot than just that one person that we know of. So even with that being a fact, it's still disproportionate greatly. So I don't know if there's any other severe stereotypes that we have that still apply.
What do you mean apply? It doesn't matter if it applies, quote unquote. None of it applies. There's not, I mean, yes, there is an angry Black woman, but it's not most Black women.
Mhm.
Yes, there is, people who are late. And so, Negroes can't never start nothing late. And I think that more applies to like if you go to a function, like you go to a wedding and the wedding is, this time says 11 o'clock, but the wedding don't start till 2.
Mhm.
Those types of things are more what, it seems like, I mean, it's expected as Black people that when you go to a comedy show, it says it starts at 9, but we know it starts at 10:30. You know what I'm saying? So it's stuff like that where it's
I think too.
and it's sort of expected. It's expected of us, so maybe we give people what they expect. I don't really know, how that works.
Well, there's a lot of cultural parts of it too, because there's some cultures that like that is kind of an unwritten law. Like if I say to, you got about 15, 20 minutes to get here, like, and it's understandable. And I think some things we carry over, we don't know that it's more of a cultural thing. So I don't think it's a negative dynamic until you're into a corporate space. Like you said, like if it's a function, it's like, who cares if it starts at 2 o'clock on the dot? But in a corporate space, that's when it kind of gets a little, maybe you should be here on time. You shouldn't be at work at 2:15.
Or we can talk about Black-owned businesses where they say they open at a particular time and you get there and
they may not.
May or may not be open.
And again, that's a cultural thing too. And I don't want to say which cultures, but some cultures, it doesn't matter. That's just how time is time. It doesn't really fucking matter. So I think some of that carries over. Don't necessarily think it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it just needs to be put in perspective on both parties on where you do it at. I think the one that I don't think applies anymore, except for like in movies, which is the only place that it could apply, is that magical Negro thing.
What you mean? What's that? It's a magical Negro. I've never
He's
heard
always
of it.
here. You never heard of that one?
No.
So in film, there's always not always, but there's a magical Negro, and what he does is solve the problem of the white people.
Oh.
He doesn't have any desires of his own. He doesn't have anything going on for himself.
I get what you're saying.
But he's here to help the
There's
person
magical Negroes in real life. I know them. I work with some of them. What? I'm being serious.
Negroes? That's
yes.
Embarrassing. Okay. All right. So I guess it applies to real humans.
I mean, no, everything applies. Like anything that you see in a movie or anything you see like in media, it didn't just come out of somebody's imagination. It applies somewhere. You saw it somewhere. You saw something that inspired you to think this thing. It might be one person, and then you made this big, thing like you do a whole workup of a person, and it's really just this one person. But then you put it out there, and more people will identify with it or know somebody who's semi like that or whatever. I mean, there's not anything that all stereotypes are based in some kind of reality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's not just completely made up shit.
Right.
There's not like, I don't know why they would have an angry Black woman stereotype. Like you've never met one. Let's don't be silly.
True. Yeah.
Or I don't know why they would have, no, you know why.
Right.
But the point is like, are we okay with these things or do we really want to change them?
I'm gonna read some comments. I want to talk about change.
Okay.
I like that. I'm gonna transition to change.
That was the plan. You want to read comments? All right.
So Prince says, I feel like despite the training, you can make a choice not to shoot to kill.
I think people they tend to do what they're trained to do. Most people aren't thinkers. They literally just do as they're told.
There's a Black Ops Navy SEAL dude. I don't know. But he said something that was kind of impactful. He said that you will always resort to the highest level of your training when you're in a crunch. Yeah. So when your adrenaline's rushing and you can't think straight.
Yeah, you go to what you're trained to do.
Whatever you're trained to do.
Whatever your muscle memory is, you're going to do that.
So yeah, in a way, it's kind of twofold. I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of police officers join the force not to protect and serve, but to regain some power they lost when they were in high school or some shit like that. Right? That's that bully mentality. Like I was bullied. Now I have power. I have a gun and a badge and you can't tell me shit. I think a lot more of that's happening. But on the other end of it is systemic. If the training is teaching you, hey, if a person had a knife, it's your life or theirs. You're more valuable as a police officer than this person in the streets. Then you believe that, and there's no reason for you to think otherwise. Why would you save this person when you have to go home? And I feel like some people are also psychopaths. They join the force because they're like, at some point in time in my 10-year, 20-year career,
I'm going to have the opportunity.
I'm going to shoot somebody.
Yeah.
And I feel like
we'll
that's what we're seeing.
Some action,
right.
baby.
I feel like that's what we're seeing. I think social media is showing us the documentation of what's already obviously been happening. We're just seeing it more. It feels like there's more of it because we see it, but these are psychopaths that's what they wanted to do when they fucking joined the force. So that's why you shoot a 15-year-old girl. It's like, well, this sounds justified. I remember this in the training manual. I can shoot.
Well, then there was something else. Next comment. Then there was something where people were saying, how was he supposed to know she was 15? She probably could have been a grown person. 15-year-old be looking like grown women. Okay. And they only do that to Black women. We are never young. We're never children. You know what I'm saying? It's always, she was fast. She looked older than she should have. She dressed older than she should have, etc.
Right.
More people should have been shot during the Capitol situation. I totally agree. Next comment.
But I want to address what you just said about that stereotype. I think that's something people don't know. In the medical field, they're combating a stereotype where they assume that Black people have a higher tolerance for pain.
Yeah.
Therefore, you don't get medication, or therefore you might not get the assistance, or it hurts, but you'll be fine. Go ahead home. You'll just get charged a copay, whatever, but you don't really need surgery because you're good, because Black people have a different type of nervous system. And that's a stereotype I don't know is as common. Like the chicken eating, dancing on the commercials is kind of a stereotype that we are associated with, but I don't think people really realize that there's in every field, insurance, finance, medical, education, there is a stereotype or two that impacts your life at some point in time. Jones says, P. Prince, there's no such thing as a shoot to not kill. Center mass is all that's taught if there's a threat. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if you get shot in any part of this, pretty much gonna die.
No, I mean, I know plenty of people get shot in some of this and they don't die, but there is a higher chance of it just because that's where all your internal organs are. So they shoot there to neutralize the threat. And that's what they're taught to do. And so that's why I don't want to talk about what's in their training or what's in their standards. Their standards are fucked up and their training is wrong. So
to lighten the mood a little bit, damn it, Black people asking for discounts, especially our own Black-owned businesses. It's a little lighter. We'll take it.
Yeah.
I stopped doing that.
You don't ask for discounts? Mm-hmm. I ask everybody for discounts. So if I ask a Black-owned business for a discount, trust me, I asked everybody. I find coupons. When I go get my tires done, I will smile at the guy and be like, I don't get an I'm cute discount. And they give me one every time. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. I get the I'm cute discount.
Well, that's a little bit different.
No, it's completely the same.
It's a little bit different because it doesn't matter where you go, you're looking for a discount.
Right. And I think that a lot of people do that. And then people assume that we only do it when we go to Black people. No, we do it everywhere. I want a discount everywhere. I want my 30% savings everywhere. When I shop at Fashion Nova, I want my 50% off. Even if you mark it up to give it to me down, whatever you got to do to make me feel good, do that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a class of people that's either a little more than half or right almost at half that are like, you my nigga, you can do better than that for a price because we both Black and I struggled and you struggled and I have ancestors and we have the same ancestors, so you should probably like.
I've never done that. I don't know.
I know you're because you, like you said, you have a different approach. I am cute.
Everybody
give me the cute discount, right?
And it works.
Right. So you're gonna go with work. I feel like other people are like, hey, I'm Black, you got a company and I want,
So maybe it's not that they're saying that they're just wanting a discount because they're Black. They're doing what they think might work. We have a place where we can meet, in the middle, and I want a discount. So I'm not gonna go to, Sally and ask for a discount. I don't have no place to relate to her at. Mm-hmm. So I can relate to you. So I'm gonna ask you for a discount. Everybody thinks everything has malice. I don't think everything's like that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, again, I think it's mixed. I don't believe that everyone has ill intentions, but I think if you're not considerate of somebody's business, it's like if I go lower than this, you may be harming my price.
But that's your job. It's your job to know what your prices are and what your overhead is and how low you can go on a price. That's your job as a business owner. And if you tell somebody, hey, that's as low as I can go on this, most people understand that. So instead of getting a fucking attitude, give them whatever discount you can or say, hey, yeah, we really can't afford to give you a discount. Sorry. Maybe we'll come up with a promotion for next year.
and the promotion would be he wants a courtesy Coke for his weight. That would be the promotion.
Something.
Right.
I'm just saying, but when you do things like that, you're less likely to be asked for a discount when you do things that make people want to spend money with you. I don't know.
I think what I've started to do, instead of like, because mine wasn't ill intent. It was like, hey, we're working together. What's a good price for both of us, or what's a good whatever balance. But I started to now is just like, what is your price? And whatever the price is, I'm like, I will pay that price. If I can't afford your price, then I'm like, you know what? I appreciate it. I will find somebody else. When I have enough money, I'll come back to you definitely. But I'm not going to try to haggle your price down because I respect what you're doing. That's what I changed to do. I know you got the cute. I know you got the cute. I'm cute price thing. I can't always work it like that. That don't always work the same.
Moving on.
Jones says, FYI, I will talk about what's in the training because I know it.
Yeah, I know you're Jones. I know you're talking from a place of knowing what the training is. And like I said, I shout out to Darren, who talked to me before the show and was telling me, things about the training and the way that it is. And so I understand a lot of what you're saying about how the training is. And that's why I always come back with, well, what do we got to do to change the training? If most police officers aren't taught to de-escalate, what the fuck we got to do to get that to happen? Because instead of training them how to shoot, maybe we train them how to de-escalate situations with your voice, how to talk to people in a calming tone. They definitely don't know that. Yeah. And that's definitely a tactic. So who's to say how it's going to happen? But it definitely should be happening. The conversations we need to be having don't need to be involved with, well, he did what he was supposed to do upon regulations. Fuck their regulations. Their regulations are getting us shot. So let's change that.
I dig it. I agree with that. I'm going to read these two, and then we're going to go into transitions about what we want to change. Okay. Prince said he hasn't paid for coffee in years, but that's a neighborhood loyalty discount thing.
I heard.
I would love not to pay for coffee. That would be awesome. Augustus says we should only have people who live in the community police the community.
And that's a great idea. But I also, like, in that same conversation with this officer, he's like, if you want to have community policing, who the fuck wants to do it? In the Black community, we're so anti-police. Who wants to do it? Who's going to step up? And then if they do, are we as a community going to trust them? So that's the second part of it, because we were talking about how, he was saying, he talks to Black women and says, if you were walking down the street and you saw a group of Black men standing on one side of the street and you saw a group of police standing on the other side, which side of the street would you walk down? And he said invariably they said they'd walk over by the police, because when you walk down the street and you get harassed. So how am I supposed to trust the people who harass me? How am I supposed to trust the people where in my own community, these are the ones who are cheating on me and beating on me and, all these other things? So it's hard. It's hard to, what I'm saying? These are the ones that are selling drugs or doing whatever. That's how you see your community. And until we change our community and have some integrity and some standards, like across the board, where there's a few people who are, some people, I think they are born criminals, but a lot of criminality is really environmental. It's a learned behavior. It's an environmental behavior. It's a survival tactic. And until we get things to where people don't feel like, one of my favorite lines from Tupac was like, I never did a crime I didn't have to do. And if you feel, when you feel that way, when you feel like I can't do anything else, there's no other choice for me, then that's what you're going to act on. And then we have that whole situation, and it doesn't bode well for saying we're going to police our own fucking communities, because there has to be another solution.
That's a whole systemic thing.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
Yeah. So it's not a bad idea. It's
a great idea.
It's an underdeveloped idea.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea. But it would take a lot to make that happen. That being said, what can we do to change some of the stereotypes? Like, what can we do to stop people from thinking that Black women are aggressive and angry, and don't have feelings, and just all these other things that are ascribed to us?
That is deep. Okay, so we're gonna start with that one again. So
I was just going back down the line.
Yeah, I know.
That's where we started.
Yeah, I know. That's. The funny thing is, I'll say this: I think the most interesting thing is media, movies, television, things like that. One reason why I kind of opt out of certain types of television and movies is because it does push these stereotypes that ultimately get into the world. And what we don't realize is that other people who don't interact with Black people in a certain way, that is kind of their introduction to our community. And if they see the reality shows or they see the movies or whatever, they're like, oh, okay, that's how they are. And if they meet just one person that fits that to any degree, it's like, oh, okay, that's just like what I saw on TV. That makes sense. They're all like that. And it's easier to recognize patterns in the brain and just kind of brush it over a bunch of people than to say that is an individual experience. This is an individual. There's 43 million other Black people I need to meet. Nobody does that.
So to move the needle, you say we have to change our media, and the way that we're portrayed in the media is a good place to start.
A good place to start, because that would reach not only just us, because then we get to reflect like, you know what? I'm like that too. I'm that businesswoman too. Or you know what? I'm like that. I'm at the house like that. I be chilling. Like there's got to be something else that we relate to that other people see.
What are we going to do about culturally being late?
Don't be late no more.
No, come on. That's not a fucking answer.
It's not. I think, I mean, it actually is a solution, because you're saying, what are we going to do about being late?
But most people don't respond to things unless there's a consequence, you know, so.
I think, so I'm going to go back to what you said, last show or 2 shows ago, I'm not sure, but the integrity thing. And integrity is you have a set of standards that you develop for yourself, or it could be in the community, whatever, and you adhere to them. Most people don't feel comfortable when they're late. Like you might kind of play it off like, traffic or whatever. But in your mind, you're like, I really wanted to be early.
There's a lot of people that are very comfortable with being late. I know a few of them, but
internally, you think they're okay? Like you think that's acceptable?
Yeah,
like they don't have any turmoil at all?
So like for me, what I've started to do is I won't come. If I know that you're going to be late and that, you know, you're going to say that it starts at 8:30, but it really starts at 10, I'm not coming. Fuck you. And that's just a personal line I've drawn. Like, I'm not doing these shenanigans. If I come to your church and your church says it starts at 11, it always starts at 12:30, I'm not coming. If your service is supposed to end at 12 and it ends at 2, guess what? Not coming. You know, things like that. Or I'll just get up and leave. Oh, this was my allotted time. Goodbye. You know, there has to be a consequence.
Consequence is subjective. Because if you don't give a fuck about the consequence either.
Oh, people want me there. I didn't know if you knew that.
Well, I thought we were talking about culturally. Yeah, sure.
As a culture, but no, yes, I'm just saying, no, because then if everybody starts implementing that, I'm saying this is the micro, put that into the macro. If we're invited to a wedding and everybody knows that the people who are throwing this wedding say on the invitation it's going to be at 12, but we know it's going to start at 2 and nobody shows up at all. Oh, that's a consequence.
Yeah. Okay. So I like that. So what we're saying is there's a consequence, but there's also accountability. I think the next step would be we kind of have to hold ourselves accountable to a certain degree and have that conversation. And I've had that when I was younger. I had a store manager. We were peers at some point, but before I was promoted, she was a store manager.
That's a long story.
No, it's not a long story. I'm not. Would you like another drink?
No, it just seemed like the story is going to be long. We got other shit to do.
I know. I'm wrapping up.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up, B.
You be having stories, and I'd be like,
I know my stories would be interesting.
I'd be like this.
Wrap it up, B.
Shut the fuck up.
There was somebody that was the store manager. All right.
And something happened. Now I can't remember what the fucking thing was. Something happened, and she pulled me to the side, like, "Hey, as a Black man, you need to da 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 da." And I was like, "True. I was slipping. I appreciate that, sister." And that was it. You know what I'm saying? So I think we need to hold each other accountable and not be afraid to do that.
You know what one of the stereotypes is that I don't like? That Black men.
You don't think that's something important? Is holding each other accountable? I was still talking.
I really had something to say right there.
Didn't even really completely.
Okay, finish. Go ahead.
Now I'm done.
There's more of a story.
Well, I was asking you a question. I'm like, do you not think that is important to do? Is to pull what you're saying is I'm not going to show up to your stupid ass event at the time you say until 2 hours later because I know you're not going to start on time. Would it be more effective, or would the next step be, or the evolution of that is, hey, You said 12, you're probably not going to start at 12 and have that conversation with that person and hold them accountable to that versus.
Do you think that I don't have the conversation with
I'm
people?
asking. It's just completely, it's a question. I'm saying, would that not be the next step or the next phase?
It's the same step. I ain't coming to your shit, and here's why.
You have the conversation. You just don't
yes, the conversation.
Okay.
The fuck are we talking about here? Move on.
We have a lot of comments.
Yeah, read a few, and we have to move on.
We do. Augustus says black women show us that.
Show us what? Why would you pick that comment?
Because I wanted you to. You have nothing to say about that.
I have no fucking idea what he's talking about.
We were talking about the black woman trope, the angry black woman thing. Okay, and he was saying we can't blame it on that at our age, which is like watching the shows. And I feel like
that's not true. Media permeates your entire being. Everything that you intake becomes a part of you. We had a whole show about that called You Are What You Eat. And if you continually feed yourself negative stereotypes about yourself and your women, you will believe them, even if it's subconsciously. Next comment.
Black women need to make a drastic change in our public perception.
Okay. I feel like maybe the black man could stand up for the black woman instead of talking about him badly. Next comment.
Prince says, what can we do about it? I watched a reality show where a black woman acted a particular way so that she wouldn't be depicted as angry and difficult.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what you have to do. Sometimes you have to push extra hard. And that would lead back to the comment that I was about to say when he cut me off that would have led perfectly into what he was asking me. Is that a stereotype that I really don't like on the opposite direction is that black people have to be better. We have to be the best at everything. So even when somebody comes and says to you, as a black man, you should whoop, whoop, whoop. I don't really like that. I'm a fucking person. And I don't have to be held to a particular black man standard because society says we have to be twice as good or twice as fast or twice as anything to be worth anything. Fuck you. I'm me. I don't have to be more to be accepted. I should be accepted just because I am.
I dig that. I think
that's that respectability bullshit. Put a suit on. Go ahead. If you don't dress this way, don't talk that way so that you can be perceived as a worthy person. And I think that's bullshit.
So you think just by
virtue of being alive, you are a worthy person.
Huh. I need to ponder on that.
Go right ahead. Come on, come on.
Augustus says, I just be on time, basically.
Come on.
What? We know what we have to do. It's an obligation that you needs to be treated that way.
You know what? He was typing fast, or maybe he's drinking with us. Keep going.
All right. Lily quit being bossy. Lily quit being bossy.
I don't know any other way to be. Sorry.
I don't know. More importantly, I don't know any other way that she could be.
Because if I let him do it, we'll be sitting here for an hour and a half talking about absolutely fucking nothing. When we need to be talking about the promotion that we're doing for the month of May. So what we're doing in the month of May, we're doing a Mother's Day promotion where we want your grandma to watch Bourbon and Pancakes. I know it sounds crazy, right? We want your grandma to watch Bourbon and Pancakes. We're pretty fucking sure that your grandma's gonna fucking enjoy this, like all the cussing, crazy shit, me going off on Isaac.
It'll remind her of her youth.
Possibly. But here's the promotion. So if you get your grandma to watch Bourbon and Pancakes anytime in the month of May, I need your grandma to write a comment like how you guys are commenting that says, hey, I'm so-and-so's grandma. That's it. And you're entered into a drawing to win a Bourbon and Pancakes glass for each of you, being you and your grandma. And you also get gift cards to buy bourbon. I haven't settled on a price. So I need to go figure out what the average bottle price of bourbon costs.
You might have to add a little couple.
And give you a couple, because it's regional. Who knows? So you'll get a Bourbon and Pancakes glass. Each of you will get a gift card to go and buy some bourbon because we can't ship liquor because the ATF will come and find us.
We just got this started. We can't.
And
federal we can't have that.
And so guess what? And what if you don't have a grandma? Sadly, I don't have a grandma. All my grandmas are no longer with us. You can also have your mom watch Bourbon and Pancakes. All we need you to do is have them write in the comments, hey, I am so-and-so's mom, or hey, I'm so-and-so's grandma, and you get entered into the drawing. Whole month of May, you'll win some money, you'll get a glass. It's great.
It'll be wonderful.
I love it.
We're gonna have fun with this.
Yeah, we're gonna do a promo. It's gonna be great. We'll talk about it more. We got a couple of weeks, but get your grandma to watch Bourbon and Pancakes.
Right. So,
and had you listened to Extra Bourbon and Pancakes, you would have known about this, because last week I came up with it on Extra Bourbon and Pancakes. We just didn't know if I didn't know if we were actually gonna do it because I was really drunk. But then I thought about it and was like, hey, that's kind of a good idea. Mother's Day is coming up. Get your grandma to watch goddamn Bourbon and Pancakes.
It was a weird
Extra Bourbon and Pancakes is awesome. And it's available on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts every Friday, sometimes Saturday if I get too drunk and I'm tired. Listen to Extra Bourbon and Pancakes.
And then also, there's 1,000 ways you can support us. I'll just name a couple. You can figure out the other 999. But what you can do is like it, share it with everybody, especially your grandma, because we got the thing coming up. So make sure you share it with your grandma. Your grandma.
Somebody's grandma. Come on now.
And we have some things we're trying to take care of. So if you want to definitely support us, you can do $ Bourbon and Pancakes, and spelled out, not like how the logo is with ampersand, Bourbon and Pancakes. And we appreciate that. That gives us bourbon. That gets us stuff for the pancakes. And it, it
allows us to give away glasses and extra money.
Mm-hmm,
yep, all that.
Upgrade. Got beats
software.
And stuff, got music coming on. Like we're getting there. We're getting there, motherfuckers. We're getting there. So that is pretty much what we are. We're gonna do Extra Bourbon and Pancakes.
Yep. Gonna pour me another drink, please. Immediately.
That's gonna be great.
We'll just see you guys next week.
Peace.